Hello. So I'm doing another Pokemon Teams video because I did a poll. I think last week is the time I'm uploading this. For like a Pokemon team between the Owl House, Hasman Hotel, Moon Girl, or Gravity Falls, and Owl House won. Like there was no doubt about that. But it was very neck and neck between the other shows. So I'm gonna do them in order of how people voted for them. But then I'm gonna have to do another poll for Gravity Falls and Moon Girl because they're tied. So yeah, unless someone wants to go vote for one right now, the poll's still there. But anyway, we're doing the Owl House Pokemon teams. Let's get into it. Okay, we're starting with Luz, obviously. Why would we not start with Luz? So, Luz would have a Seviper. Do I even need to explain why? Like, spoilers for the video, but I gave everyone a Pokemon based on their Talisman because that just felt right to me. So, yeah. She has a Seviper because her Talisman is a Snake Shifter. I know it shapeshifts, don't worry, we'll get there. She doesn't have an Oshawott because Luz loves otters. I almost said Oshawatts. And she has an otter onesie, so yeah, that was obvious as well. She does have a Woobat because there's an episode where she has to watch the Bat Queen's kids, and then there's also an episode where she has to fight the Bat Queen in order to save Ida's Talisman. So yeah, she would catch one of them. She'd treat it nice, obviously, because she loves them. She'd also have an Alolan Rattata because she has a pet rat that so obviously the Owl House takes place in a magic universe. So the rats in the Boiling Isles, when they eat books, they can actually project the knowledge they've learned from the books. So the Alolan Rattata is the closest one we have, and I feel like the dark type goes well with witchy themes as well. So yeah, and then she'd also have Unknown. I don't know which Unknown specifically, but because she's a human, she doesn't have natural magic like the witches do, but she learns that she can make magic through these things called glyphs. And since Unknown is an alphabet Pokemon, it kind of resembles the glyphs, so they would basically help her with her magic, basically. And then she'd have a Ditto, because I know there are other Pokemon that shapeshift, but I feel like Ditto's my favorite of all the shapeshifting Pokemon. So that, like, represents the shapeshifting aspect of her Talisman. So there you go, that's Luz's team. Maybe you don't agree with it. I know it was kind of rushed, but hey-ho. Alright, next we're doing Ida, the Owl Lady, the best character. Not my favorite character, but the best character. Okay, first off, she'd have Rowlet to represent Owlbert. Like, come on, it's right there. I was going to give her Hoot Hoot as well, but my friend said that Rowlet was probably the better of the two. She'd also have Alolan Marowak to represent King. Come on, look at the two of them. They're basically the same character. Like, I know that, because King has a echolocation and has sound powers, and I know, Marowak doesn't have that, but it's the closest one that looks to King, in my opinion, so yeah, I think that one fits well. And this is my favorite one. She'd also have Wiglet to represent Hootie. I know Hootie is technically an owl, and Wiglet is an eel, but, like, come on, this is hilarious. Like, Hootie's already a meme character anyway, and Wiglet's a meme Pokemon, so it just fits perfect. Also, the fact that they're both really long as well, and they both use their bodies to, like, you know, protect themselves and stuff, like, that's just so funny, and I'm sorry. She'd also have Delphox, because Delphox is literally a witch Pokemon, and it also has big hair, like Ida does. Speaking of big hair, though, she'd also have a Hatterene, because Hatterene is literally a witch made of hair. Like, it's right there, you know? I don't think I need to explain any further on that one. I think that is a perfect Pokemon for her. You could also give her Grimmsnarl as well, to be fair, but I think Hatterene fits as well. A lot of people say that her sister should have Hatterene now, and I don't see that. Also, I will not be including her sister in this video, just so you know. And last but not least, she'd have a Gholdengo. Ida loves money. She would catch a Gholdengo. I don't need to elaborate on that. Plus, Gholdengo evolves when it collects 100 coins, so, you know, that would be her mission to evolve it. So, yeah. Maybe I should have given her a teleport Pokemon because, you know, she goes to the human world to collect human artifacts, but, like, I feel like, you know, she'd still have the door, to be fair, so I don't think that really matters. Alright, the next year we're just gonna have 4 Pokemon because if I do 6, the video's gonna be too long. So next we're doing Amity, Liz's girlfriend. She'd have Espeon to represent her Talisman Ghost. A lot of people, like, gave her Espeon to represent that as well, which I like. Some people said Glameow, but Glameow's vicious. Like, it's an actual vicious Pokemon, so nah. She'd also have Muck, because her literal magic is goo. Like, she has goo magic. It's called Abomination Magic, but it's goo. Like, it literally is. So yeah, that was actually the first Pokemon I picked for her, because it was absolutely perfect for her. it was actually hard to decide what cat Pokemon to give her. She'd also have a Miss Magius because I know this is gonna, like, obviously she's a witch, so Miss Magius is a witch, so that works. But she also reads this series called Azura. Yeah, that's because yeah, and that's how her and Lou's bond, because they both read the Azura books. But you know, because of that, like, she cosplays as her. So, and since Miss Magius is a witch Pokemon, I just feel like that fits the most. I know it doesn't. I know it fits anyway because she's a witch anyway, but that's why she has it, because of the Azura books. But anyway, her last Pokemon would be Annihilate. So I know this is a random one, but see, Amity entered a fighting competition, and she, like, turns her, like, goo into, like, gauntlets, and that's basically what Annihilate's hands are. And since Annihilate is also a ghost type, I thought that was kind of fitting as well. And it also has the wild hair, and Amity's hair is iconic, obviously. So yeah, I really think this one would suit her as well. Alright, next we're doing Willow. Willow and Gus's teams were the hardest teams. It's not even close. First, she'd have Rabombi to represent her talisman. What was her talisman called? Clover, I think. Also, just a side note, her staff is gorgeous. Like, she has the best staff out of all the witches. Anyway, she'd also have Venusaur. I don't know why, I just feel like that would be the best grass type for her. Like, yeah, I could give her a full team of grass types, but I just feel like Venusaur is the most fitting one for some reason. Plus, Venusaur shoots seeds out of its giant flower, and she can use, like, seeds to, like, you know, for her powers as well. So yeah, this is one I feel like not a lot of you are going to agree with, but I'd give her Chansey. Let me explain. So Willow's whole thing is that she feels like she has to help everyone with all their problems, and she ends up having a mental breakdown because of this, because she thinks about everyone but herself all the time. And that's literally what Chansey does. Chansey's always thinking about other Pokemon and healing them, and it's actually scared of humans as well because of this. So yeah, she would definitely have a Chansey. I just think that would fit. And then I just gave her Leafeon because I needed an extra space, and Leafeon's a grass type evolution. Plus, her and Amity were friends, like, before Luz showed up, so you could kind of, like, say that they caught Eevees together and then evolved them into, like, yeah. So I do kind of like that idea. I don't know if you'll agree with me, but that's Willow's team. Alright, next we're doing Gus's team. Gus would have Sobble to represent his, I cannot pronounce his name, so I'm just calling him Bailey. His talisman Bailey, because he's a little lizard and he's so cute. Yeah, and he'd also have a shiny Hisuian Zorua, because, Gus's powers is that he creates illusions. He's really good at making illusions, and that's Zorua's whole gimmick, that it makes illusions. So, and also, since Gus is, like, our whole, like, outfit's blue, I feel like he'd have the shiny one because the shiny one's blue. So yeah, I think that really works. My friend said I should give Hisuian Zorua to Ida, but I think it suits Gus a lot more. I'd also have a Mr. Mime. Let me explain, please. Because Gus is fascinated with humans, and he wants to learn everything he can about humans. And Mr. Mime is a human-shaped Pokemon, but it's also a mime, and mimes are all about creating illusions. So there you go. That's the perfect Pokemon for him. I can't believe I didn't think of that, and it took me ages to think of that. I literally just wrote this right now. That, like, Mr. Mime. I wrote that today. So there you go. And lastly, you'd have a Smoliv. I like to headcanon that would be a gift from Willow, but also kind of represents the fact that Gus is the youngest person in his class because he was moved up a year. And he feels, like, small and pathetic compared to everyone else, which is why he tries to be, like, you know, the best witch that he can. And Smoliv is small and pathetic as well. so they'll both be there for each other, and I love that idea. So that's Gus's team. Okay, last but not least, my favorite character in all of the Owl House, Hunter. You do not understand how much I love Hunter. Like, wow. I even cosplayed as him, if you don't remember that. Anyway, technically, he wouldn't have a team because of the plot of the show, but we're just gonna give him a team anyway, why not? So first he'd have an Armarouge, because Hunter is the Golden Guard, and that's literally what Armarouge is, a Golden Guard, so, like, I feel like that's self-explanatory there. He'd also have a Lycanroc, a Midnight one, because, you know, look at it, it suits him, because he loves wolves. Wolves are his favorite animal. He'd also have a Phantump, because, the thing is, Hunter is a clone of Belos, the villain's brother, that he murdered. I'm not even kidding. And one of the ingredients to make clones in the Owl House is this thing called Palindrome wood. So, and Phantom is literally a dead child possessing a tree stump. So, you know, put two together, yeah, I feel like Phantom would fit him a lot. So there you go. Oh my god, I can't believe that. He'd also have a Silvally and a Mewtwo. I'm just lumping them together because they're both clone Pokemon, and he's a clone, obviously, so that just fits really well. And then he'd also have, he'd get a Picky Peck to represent Flapjack, his talisman, but it would die because Flapjack dies at the end, and because he sacrifices himself to save Hunter, and then because of that, Hunter ends up getting his own powers. But I'm not gonna elaborate on that. Go watch it. And at the end, he gets a new palisman called Waffles, who's a Blue Jay. But we don't have a Blue Jay Pokemon, so I just give him Starly because that's the closest one we have. So yeah, that would be Hunter's team. That was a bit dark, I know. Okay, well that was my Owl House Pokemon teams. Let me know what you would give them in the comments down below. Maybe you can think of what your 5th and 6th Pokemon would be for Amity, Willow, and Gus, because I genuinely found it really hard, and I just thought it was pointless, and they can just have 4. But yeah, let me know, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!